soaking and soothing long after the lozenge has gone. It's just what a sore throat needs. Strepsils, first aid for sore throats. If symptoms persist, please seek medical advice.
Je, umekata tamaa? Moyo wako umedidimia na kufifia? Kwenye ulimwengu uliojaa vizungumkuti na masumbuko, bado tumaini lipo. Tazama kipindi cha Tumaini Jipya kila siku ya Ijumaa kuanzia saa 11:30 hadi saa 12 asubuhi. Usisahau kujumuika naye Askofu Jeremia Palanyo wa kanisa la New Hope for All Nations Church Naivasha akikuletea neno la kutia moyo wako tumaini kuu. Kumbuka Tumaini Jipya kila Ijumaa saa 11:30 hadi saa 12 asubuhi.
1,000 families use this new soap, and with correct habits, kids from these families were proven to fall sick less often.
The new Advanced Lifebuoy with Active 5, proven 100% to reduce cases of sickness in kids.
Can your soap beat this? New Advanced Lifebuoy.
No fear!
ABC Channel 1, Kenya's watching.
Going by the way Kenyans voted in the referendum, they spoke emphatically and true to the preamble of the new constitution, Kenyans exercised their sovereign and inalienable right in determining the form of governance they want for our country. This was the culmination of more than 20 years of struggling to get a new constitution that they can relate to. With the public's overwhelming endorsement, various state organs are moving with speed to put in motion the mechanisms that will operationalize this law. In the next few weeks, the National Assembly is expected to appoint a special select committee from among its members to start work on the implementation of the new constitution. At the heart of this important work is the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, which has to ensure that the transition from the old to the new law moves smoothly and within the stipulated timetable. Legal experts from the Ministry and the Office of the Attorney General are already working on drafting the required legislation. This means that the hard work will be in implementing the new constitution, because as many as 49 bills must be drafted and passed by Parliament to operationalize the constitution. The referendum result and its endorsement by all sides is the single most significant constitutional milestone since the Lancaster House Constitution. Indeed, this calls for collective responsibility. Those who voted no ultimately played an important role in the referendum process, because by expressing a contrary opinion, they gave meaning to what a healthy democracy is supposed to be. Therefore, let us build on this great achievement by continuing to foster and inculcate cohesion and integration amongst us to solidify the unity that defines us as Kenyans.
Good evening, Kenyans, and welcome to the platform. We have voted. August the 4th has come and gone. Some people predicted violence, but I think right now the only thing that is disappointing a lot of us is the fact that you still have the ink on your finger and you can't get it off. We voted peacefully. We have passed a constitution. Those that lost, most of them have come back and said, we are here to build one country. So on that note, congratulations to us. But now, obviously, the question then comes. The constitution has been passed. We're about to put it together. We're about to get it running this country as we have been promising ourselves. And the question that is on everyone's mind is what next? And I think for these things you tend to need lawyers in your team, and you tend to need citizens, and it's appropriate that the guests we have tonight are two lawyers and a citizen. We have Ongoya Elisha, who's an advocate of the High Court. Good evening. We have Mary Njeri from COVA, the Coalition on Violence Against Women. Did I get that right?
Yes, you
Great.
did.
And Akawiwa Mbua, who is from CRECO, which has been one of the bodies that has been fighting for a new constitution for quite a while now. But he's a citizen on our team, and obviously myself included. And I'll probably start with you, Mary. We voted so.
Yes, we voted. We've been looking for change, and it's been part of our system to want that change. And so the so what is that you and I, as citizens of this country, we ought to feel as part of the change.
Yes.
We ought to feel that it wasn't a document that was just coming as a paper passing, and then we look and we seem as if we are recipients. We must see ourselves as citizens and part of the change. And that's why it's good when we know that even those who voted no, for whatever reasons they voted no, now we will all be directed by this new constitution, all of us together as a country, as Kenyans. So it takes all of us to start looking at what part do you play as a citizen, because everyone has a responsibility. We should stop looking at leadership. And that has been our problem ever
Political
since.
leadership.
Political leadership especially. We look at them as the guiding stars for the country. And we've failed many other times. So we need to look at all of us and see where do we play a part. Even including the fact that we need to preserve our environment, for example.
Yes.
That is something that you do not need the government to help you do. You need to start taking up leadership. Women, for example, I being one, that we start now looking at where are the spaces that we've been saying we want leadership in, and we need to start taking up leadership, so that we don't start looking and saying, but not me, not the other. So all of us need to prepare. All of us need to start feeling the new change is here and is our change. It's not a leadership change, it's not a Kibaki Raila change, it's not parliamentarian change. It is our change as citizens.
However, you have been in the forefront of the struggle for good or ill. I know you have been. You've seen a lot of this country from the inside.
Yes.
And it's been said that this is one constitution, not just in Kenya, but for a large part of the world, where most citizens have read at least a part of it. I think the civic education has been one of the more successful things. People may not have gone through the entire document, but even if it's the argument about one part or the other, people have actually gone and read the document, either in English or Kiswahili, saying we want to know what's in it. Is this a good thing? And what does that mean for participation? As Mary is saying, we need to participate in building the country.
I would want to say that there are quite a number of people, even now as we speak, that voted because of political motivation, that they were mobilized by politicians to vote. That is there. That's a given. I've heard in the recent past, before the constitution passed, had discussions with citizens who were very argumentative, very annoyed about parts that were not in the constitution. So there are those. Let's agree, and let's also say here now that it's very important from now as we go forward that the role and function of civic education is taken very seriously by everybody. That those who had not
when you get there, and I want to continue that answer, but what strikes me is that do we still have a responsibility to keep on reading the document? A lot of people may have thought that if you read it before the referendum, that's enough.
This is our constitution. It is the law that will guide the way we relate, the way organs of governance relate with each other, the way citizens relate with the system of government that we are going to have. So apart from reading it all the time, you must also have it. The present situation that we have now in this country is as a result of a constitution that was negotiated outside the space of this country, a constitution that was amended without participatory process. People were not involved. I can tell you, in 80 out of 100 cases, people do not know what is in the constitution that we replaced. But we shouldn't have such a situation again. We should have citizens who are able to say, this is our document. This is what the law says about the distribution of resources. We should stop talking from political standpoints to constitutional standpoints, because it's our constitutional right and it is our responsibility as citizens to ensure that we know what's in the constitution and are able to uphold it. You cannot uphold a constitution if you are not aware of what is contained in it. And then secondly, on the other point, or on the other question about whether passing this constitution is a good thing or not, I'll say it definitely is a good thing. We've been at it for 20 plus years. Honestly, we had to stop at some point. We cannot get a perfect constitution. We cannot pretend even to get that. So we had to stop at some point, and this is, for me, the ideal point that we stopped. Now, it is our responsibility to come up and say, we have arrived here. How do we move on? How do we ensure that the provisions of this constitution are implemented in such a way that they enhance good governance, in such a way that